So I did the top 10 list of my favorite martial arts movies ever, and I had a couple of questions about, thoughts and recommendations and what about other movies and this and that. And so I thought I'd give a quick breakdown of why I chose these movies. I try and make it as quick as possible because I won't be taking up nobody's time. So yeah, number one, Enter the Dragon. What can I say? It's might be the first movie I ever watched, you know what I mean? And, it's Bruce Lee as Lee, it's Mr. Han with the claws, it's O'Hara with his scar up, and he tried to mess with Bruce Lee's sister, and he had to get bust up, stomped out, Bolo, Williams, Roper. What more can I say? Parsons getting left on the boat, philosophies, finger to the moon, don't concentrate on the finger and all that kind of stuff. Nunchucks, Bruce Lee busting up people in one move. It's got everything a kung fu movie needs. It makes Bruce Lee look like a badass. It's everything a kung fu movie needs to be. It's maximum force, minimum effort. And that is why it is the greatest kung fu movie of all time. Number two, Jet Li, Fist of Legend. Now, Fist of Legend is a remake of Fist of Fury, and I did not think that Fist of Fury could be remade to effect, because there was Fist of Fury 2 and Fist of Fury 3, and I'm sure there's a Fist of Fury that's got Jackie Chan starring in it when they tried to make him a threat Bruce Lee. It didn't work. Jet Li did one, and I was like, well, I'm gonna watch it because I was a big fan of Jet Li at the time, and I was like, let's go, let's see. Do you know what I mean? He can't be terrible at it, and it's actually an amazing movie. It is a good remake and a reinterpretation of the story, because it doesn't just make everything black and white, Japanese bad, Chinese good. There's a lot of politics in there as well as the kung fu, and it is absolutely amazing. First time I really knew about Yuen Woo-ping, do you know what I mean? And then he did The Matrix after that, you know what I mean? I think he got hired after that, do you know what I mean? So, Fist of Legend. Number three, The Young Master. My favorite Jackie Chan movie ever. The last fight in that movie is absolutely mwah. That might be my favorite single fight scene. And the thing is, it's not so much with Jackie Chan, it's about Wan Sik, who is a Hapkido master. And he is the villain, and Jackie Chan is the hero, of course. But Jackie Chan is getting his ass kicked for a good 15 minutes in that scene. And Wan Sik, he is an accomplished Hapkido master, and Jackie Chan is the greatest stuntman. So when you've got someone that's really good at all their moves, busting their kicks, busting their punches, busting their holds, and then you've got the greatest stuntman that can just throw himself all over the place and make the opposition look good when they're getting hurt, it's absolutely sublime. Number four, Prodigal Son, the best Wing Chun movie. Ip Man, those movies are good, but it's The Prodigal Son is the best Wing Chun movie. It goes through the philosophy of Wing Chun as well as having great action, and it was really good captured Wing Chun moves. Do you know what I mean? Like, Wing Chun has had a hard time of being captured on tape really well. Even the movie Wing Chun that had Michelle Yeoh in it, people watch that and they're like, yeah, she's got a couple of stances, but it's not really a Wing Chun movie. Even Yuen Woo-ping said it himself at the time. He was like, I don't think Wing Chun could be captured properly. It took for Donnie Yen when he did Ip Man and was like, yo, I'm going to do it a certain way that's proper. And then him and Sammo Hung did a couple of scenes. And after a while, Yuen Woo-ping got involved in the directing and stuff. And it was at that time that he clicked on, he got it. And Donnie Yen and Yuen Woo-ping figured out how to really capture Wing Chun in its essence in a really good form. But Prodigal Son did that in the 80s. And so Sammo Hung, Little Bad Man, choreography, bad man. Young Biao, Sammo Hung, absolutely brilliant movie. Undisputed 3 at number 5. So the Undisputed movies, the first one is allegedly a story about Mike Tyson in jail, So if you see Undisputed 1, it's got Ving Rhames. Ving Rhames is basically a boxer who gets convicted of rape, goes in jail, and tries to go on like a bad man in jail because he's like, I'm the best boxer in the world in jail. And apparently there's a guy in jail that they end up having a fight and Mike Tyson gets his ass bust. So that's what this is a alleged story of Mike Tyson getting his ass handed to him by someone in jail that was like, no, you're not the bad guy you think you are. So they couldn't get the rights to have Mike's name in it, so they made a loose story on it. Ving Rhames and Wesley Snipes. The second movie, completely different. The only thing that's the same is that fights happen in jail. So the second one had Michael Jai White in it and Scott Adkins as Boyka. Now, anyone who knows the name Boyka, the Russian, the best fighter in the world, Boyka, bad man character, yeah? So there's Boyka in number 2, and then after that, the stories are basically about Boyka. They're about the Russian fighter who is proving to himself to be the best fighter in the world, but he's in jail. The only time he gets a fight is in jail. He's an absolute bad man. The third one is the best one. It has the best fights. It has all different types of fights. It has Lateef Crowder, who is a capoeira fighter, who was in Warrior King. He was in Tekken, and I don't know how they managed to ruin Lateef being Eddie Gordo in the Tekken movie. Do you know what I mean? Like, they mashed it up. But in Undisputed 3, Lateef shows out. Everybody in that film shows out. 6, Flashpoint, Donnie Yen. So someone asked about Ip Man being in my top 10, and I was like, The thing is, Donnie Yen and Wilson Ip have done movies before that. They did one called Killzone, which is absolutely amazing. That is violent as well. Then they did Dragon Tiger Gate, which is like a Chinese superhero movie, and it's alright. It's okay. It's got some good scenes in it, and it's okay. It's alright. Flashpoint is a rough movie. That movie is sick. It's Donnie Yen as a cop. He's basically a bad man cop in it. It's like Lethal Weapon kind of thing where he's like a cop on the edge. It's like I won't even say Lethal Weapon because like Riggs is a bit but Donnie Yen Flashpoint's more like a Dirty Harry. It's more like I get the job done. Don't ask me about how and why I broke his jaw. I get the job done. So it's one of them movies. And the martial arts in that is rough. It's very UFC, MMA orientated. Like Donnie Yen was trying to find a little modern way of doing things. And Flashpoint is when he just hit the nail on the head. End fights. I'm all about end fights being the baddest fight. And Colin Chu and Donnie Yen show out in that movie. Number 8, On Back 2. Now, On Back 2 is not the best On Back movie. Like, On Back 1 is the best On Back movie. It is the best one. But On Back 2, the beginning, the story is a bit, but I'm about end fights. And Tony Jaa fighting 8 ninjas in that last scene, you've just got to see it. It's just absolutely amazing. Now, the other fights in the movie are good. It's all about that last one. And it's the only movie in this list where the story I don't think is that great, but the fights totally make up for it. And On Back 2. Okay, now we're talking about Blood and Bone. Michael Jai White. It's the best movie that he's done. You know what I mean? It's the best. I talked about Undisputed 2 earlier. Blood and Bone is just a great movie. It's a really good character. I wish they'd done a sequel, but at the same time, I don't know how they would have done it. But I just love Bone. In that movie, just watch. Anyone watch Blood and Bone, you will fall in love with Michael Jai White as Bone. You will love that movie. You will love it. And you will see why after that he's actually got genuine work. He struggled in the 90s. He got Spawn and it was like, He was in Exit Wounds and it was like, fake Matrix fights. Universal Soldier was like, Tyson was the only movie when he did a movie of Tyson where he was actually Tyson. And that was good. But it was boxing, so he didn't get to do all his thing. Blood and Bone is sick. Watch it. Now, what have we got next? Shaolin vs. Wu-Tang. This ain't even really about it. Sick old school kung fu movie, but it ain't even about the fights, which are sick. It's really just about knowing all the Wu-Tang skits. The game of chess is a sword fight. Kung fu, it doesn't belong to anybody. It evolves. It's a secret. Never teach the Wu-Tang. It's all in there. You've got to see the movie for the skits. You've got to see all the Wu-Tang, Shaolin Shadowbox, and the Wu-Tang is all in there. You've got to see the movie. You've got to watch the English dub version and see the skits, where it comes from. You've got to understand it all. It's absolutely bad. And finally, The Raid 2. It is... The Raid 1, the only character I could take away from it was Mad Dog. It was the only one. And the thing with The Raid 2 is it's got Baseball Bat Boy, it's got Hammer Girl, it's got Beto. Is it Beto? Is it Beto? I'm sure that the Bejo. It's got Bejo. It's got the boss's son. The son who's all like, yo, I need to be the boss, and his dad. The son's a little bad man. The dad's a little bad man. Ram is still going through his story. He's a little bad man. All the fights in there. You know what I mean? Koso, who's basically the same guy who played Mad Dog, he came back and he's another guy with long hair and long beard, busting up, man. There's too many other characters in that. The assassin at the end, who he fights in the kitchen. There's too many fights. Too many scenes, too many different kind of scenarios where the action's just going off. And I just think that, like, the movie's a lot more complex. Some people prefer The Raid 1 because it's much more simpler. I prefer The Raid 2 because it's a different version of, like, The Departed. It's like the undercover cop thing, and I think they did it really well. So that's why I prefer The Raid 2. I think it is a sicker sequel. And that is me done.